Hello and welcome back. I'm Randy Newbert from VoodooFX. In today's video, we'll be doing another model kit review. So let's get started. Okay guys, so in today's video, we'll be doing a model kit review on the large scale studio version of the Klingon Bird of Prey. This model is brought to you by Dream Studios in conjunction with LYP Studios as well. This was a great collaboration between both these companies in order to bring this beautiful model to market. So anyway, I just want to start off with kind of explaining that in this video, there are so many parts and pieces to this model that I'll be doing a lot of the visual of the model itself with graphics and photos and stills like this, because again, there's so many parts, I'd have to lay them across the whole table, and I don't think it'll really actually give you a really good scope of how detailed this model actually is. So anyway, so let me start off with right off the bat is I want to show you the wing just to kind of give you an idea of the scale of this model, and I think this will kind of explain it all right away. So here, let me grab one of the wings, and again, I think this might just kind of explain the scale of how big this model is. These are a two-part wing. There's both it's in two pieces, and they have a little stopper set in here, and these can be actually filled in with brass rod and or even aluminum rod in order to stiffen them up and keep them so they keep their shape really good. But again, I think you can get an idea of the actual scale of this thing. I mean, these things are huge as far as the wings go. And again, they're made to scissor, just like the original model was. This was based off the ILM filming miniature, and was and basically, again, you could get this up to any scale you want. Again, this was from Star Trek: The Voyage Home, is kind of how this model was based. So that's, again, that was kind of, the backstory on what this model was actually came from. But again, I think you can kind of get the scale of the size of this model. I mean, these are almost 14-inch wing. And again, just let me put both of them up here. I mean, that just kind of says it all right there, doesn't it? And that's about the body break is somewhere around there. So these things are just, again, scale is just off the wall big. So let me go ahead and I'm going to switch the video here a little bit and show you some of the parts on the table that I've got currently laid out. I don't have them all broken out of the bag. Again, I'm going to show you some graphics, and that way that'll show you kind of some of the parts in a little bit better form, and then you can get a really good understanding at the detail of this model. So let me switch video channels here, and we'll continue from there. Okay, so here is some of the model parts laid out on the bench. Again, I'm going to give you kind of a quick little shot of all the pieces. Again, most of them are bagged up right now, and again, it would take me a long time to lay out every one of these pieces, but I want to kind of give you kind of an idea of what, again, all the parts that are involved inside the model. Now, I got a little treat here I want to show you right off the bat that they did. Dream Studios actually went ahead and made an upscaled version of what the real true studio scale model was. And let me switch to that shot now. Okay, I hope you can see me okay in this shot. I've got a little bit of backlight on me here. Hopefully it'll translate out well. Well, Dream Studios did a couple test prints when they first started this project, and I just want to show you what the actual real scale of the real large scale filming miniature was. And just, boy, hold on to your socks here, boys. This is the head section of the model. And I mean, if this just kind of gives you an idea, this is how large the studio scale version of it was. I mean, this thing is just massive scale. This would definitely fall into the bigature area as a bigature model. And again, I know that they wanted to do this as kind of a test to really see see if you could actually print this in large scale in the, I think it was a 4.5 foot model was the shooting miniature that they used. And it was just beautiful. And again, this kind of just gives you an idea of what they were trying to express here between the size of the scales on the model. And again, you can kind of, a good way to break it down or show you is, again, by showing this in this large scale format. Now, I'm going to show you another piece here that they also did to test out, again, within that studio scale. I mean, this is the gun piece for the winglet. This is the laser cannon. And I mean, just look at how big this piece is. I mean, it's just mammoth. I mean, this thing is just huge. Now, if you went through the time and effort, you could easily print this in this scale if that's what you're after. If you want to make a 4.5 foot model of this thing, or a 5 foot model, you could actually do it. But this was just, again, this was kind of a test demonstration to show you really how large this model, and if you wanted to go with the full-blown studio scale, you could. You know, the model kit that's available in default is a little bit smaller scale, and I'll show you a couple of those pieces to kind of just give you a comparison as far as the sizing goes. So let me show that to you right now. So this is one of the sections of the model, and this is more of what the default scale is on the model. Again, this was just painted as a test shot in green, kind of to match how the model actually looks in when it's going to be painted itself. But this is to show you, kind of give you a little bit better idea of the actual default scale that it is in currently. So let me and then let me kind of show. I'm going to come back here and switch my angle a little bit with the camera, and then I'm just going to kind of walk through some of the parts that I have here. And again, I'll try my best to explain this through some graphic illustrations about the model. And again, I want to go over kind of some of the stuff that actually is incorporated into the 3D file of this model. So anyway, so let me go ahead and let me switch my view, and we'll go on from there. Okay, guys, so I'm back here again with kind of the general layout of some of the parts here on the model. Again, excuse me if I'm kind of out of frame or anything in here, because again, I'm trying to shoot this quite far back, and there's just so many pieces in here. I can't really catch it all in just showing you this way. So let me move these large scale pieces out of the way. And again, let me bring a little bit of light around here. This might help give us a little bit better look. And so right off the bat, again, I know I say that all the time. Again, I'm trying not to sound like a full broken wheel here. But what I wanted to show right off the bat here is, oh wow, I said it again. Okay. So this model, I printed out all this material on the kit itself. And again, you know, these come fully illustrated with all their graphics in there. And I'm just going to kind of roll through them, but this gives you the general scope of the model here. Kind of gives you an idea of what, you know, what the model looks like and where it is. Here's a with the wings out in flight mode. And then again, now there's breakdowns of the actual, the actual pieces. And what's really nice about having this this instruction pack with it is the instructions come fully set up with all the parts. It's a full library of where all the pieces basically fit. And again, it's so well laid out as far as where everything goes. I'm just going to try to kind of thumb through this thing kind of fast because, I mean, there must be 20, 30 pages here. Again, here's some of the wing details in here. And again, very, very well done with laying out all the parts and showing where everything is and what goes where, and it's really good. I have to give it to Lee. Lee's the one who laid out the instructions on this one as far as the all the graphics on this. He did really just a knockout job on this, and I love the way he does it. He is an engineer by trade, and I understand the engineering side of it. So again, translate well if you kind of have a little bit of engineering knowledge with these, all these instruction guides. And again, part layout, part numbers. They're actually scaled. He has a little scale chart on here. Again, I'm just going to try to thumb through these things as fast as possible. What's nice too is he writes little notes in here. And again, when you get the model, I think that comes in a PDF, so you can go back over it and over it and over it, until you really understand exactly where everything lays out as far as the parts go. Let me kind of flip through a few more. And again, some of the wing detail. This is about the fins. This is kind of more of the engine pod detail in the back. Again, this is some of the thing about the hinges, making sure to get the hinges in the right spot. Some nice graphics here. These are some of the graphics that Dream Studios did, which is nice. I like the colored illustrations of the model. And again, this also illustrates well to tell you where where parts go. And again, I got to give it to Dream Studios for making some really nice high-end graphics here with Lee, and how they did this. They just, again, this is definitely an intermediate to advanced style model build, especially at this scale. But not too bad, overall. Just from my experience, looking at it, I feel it wouldn't be too bad to tackle. Overall, it's a typical, it's just like any other model kit. But I think that's half the fun, is getting in there and, really, learning something about the model and doing this. This is the wings down mode. Anyway, so that is the bulk of the literature that comes with the model. Now, I don't think there is a tutorial out yet on the actual build, but I have a sneaky suspicion that at some point Dream Studios will actually end up doing a full assembly on the model, and at that point, once he does the model, usually he will follow back with a video on it. So anyway, that is that. And again, let me just kind of bring in some of the parts here. So like, this is one of the main body parts. It's kind of like the rear end for where the engine assembly is in here. But again, you can see the detail of this. It all pops. It's got all the right markings on it. This model was really meticulously gone through, and each panel and everything was really mapped out well. And then again, here I'll give you take a look. You can see this little pre-painted part, And again, all the mechanical, all the raised areas, these are all really super accurate as far as accuracy goes. So again, you're going to be getting a very accurate model overall. Okay, so let me move on. Well, here's some of the... This might be a good thing to show. I'll take out one of these. So to give you an idea of the scale of the gun turret, and I'm just going to show you this. This is the default scale of the gun turret, or not the, I'm sorry, not the gun turret, the laser cannon. So these are the side wing laser cannons. So let me grab the big studio scale version, and this will give you a reference as far as what the scale difference is. So here is the default scale. Here's the studio scale laser cannon. I mean, as you can see, obviously, the studio scale is just mammoth. This is just a mammoth, model. But this is to give you, again, a scale scope. Here's the default scale the model comes in, which is still, it's a big model. And then here's the true studio scale version that they made for the filming miniature. So again, you have the option. The nice thing is with 3D models is you can scale them up to whatever size you want. So that that's a real bonus as far as that's concerned. So anyway, so this is again a gun turret part. These parts come all in this case for this model, these were all separated and bagged, left and right. And again, this was because this was the this is the prototype model that was made up so we could have a display of the model parts. Again, let me grab out one of these and just give you an idea again of kind of the default scale of this. This is one of the lower parts towards, or this upper part maybe. Again, I haven't fully studied the model, but oh yeah, here's some of the extension. This has something to do with the headpiece. I'm just kind of faking it here, I think, but okay, there you go. So it's something like this. This would be the scale, again, of the default scale for some of the head section that is on the model. Again, tight, all the accuracy, the graphics are really rich and detailed. So, and again, let me grab this piece just so, again, I kind of want to get a comparison scale. It looks pretty close. Now, I think this is the bottom side. Yeah, and that's the circular part. So, to give you an idea, again, we're just going to look at scale size here. So, this is this is what it would be. Here's the default, and here's the studio version. And then those are all the parts that are on top of it. I'm doing a quick little comparison. It looks like the same companion piece. So here's giving you a good scale determination of the default scale and the studio scale over here in the farther picture. So it kind of just gives you a good, again, a reference point. I'm kind of glad that he sent these along because, again, this really shows you, if you want to go into that studio scale version, it really shows you how much the difference is scale-wise compared to the default. But the default, again, is a beautiful scale overall as far as that goes. So, again, nice, crisp parts. Again, these are all separately bagged for this application. Let me give out one thing. It's real nice to look at the detail on that. That's just really crisp and nice. All the ridging in there is all really tight. Just a nice little parts. Okay, let me move on here. Got some of the other parts. Now, as I was going through the process of this too, I was asked to develop some lighting for it. I do have the main primary lighting already developed and ready. What I ended up doing is, since I had the model in hand, I was able to actually, again, create the lighting for it because I had the parts here for the engine and the laser cannon and the photon effect. So I was able to actually develop the stuff when I was going through the build-up or going through the parts. And so I do have all that ready to go. Again, some more miscellaneous parts in here. And again, I think I'll try to, again, put up some graphics here. Here's the upper and lower halves that I just showed you. These, yeah, I got some of these pre-bagged here. So these are here's a good mechanical detail that you can kind of take a look at there. And again, this shows you kind of the accuracy that was, brought into the 3D model. I mean, they really just thought this thing out, and really, again, accuracy level is really good. And I just kind of pre-fit some of these parts in here. These are the upper little, I call them the hump pieces. Those were like all the little vents go and kind of mesh into this. And again, I'll show you those as well too. So again, these parts are kind of separated into zones here. Again, this is first, when Dream Studios finally gets around to when they get into the assembly of the thing, at least it's broken down into kind of zones. So anyway, so that's another part. And then there's a whole bunch of little miscellaneous small pieces. Here's one that's still on the tree after the print. And I think I can show this one pretty quickly. But again, I just wanted to show the amount of detail. I mean, look at that part. Isn't that just sexy? Look at how tight all those little pieces are. And again, this is what you print out with your 3D resin printer. So you order the files up, you start putting them all together and start printing them out. There's a whole list of them to print. And before you know it, you got a whole complete model. And again, I don't have the exact determination of default scale, but again, it's a good size model just as it comes default wise. Oh, here's some of the back of the engine. And so anyway, since I'm talking about the engine a little bit, here's a couple parts for the engine assembly. These kind of sit in the back of the skirt of the engine itself. So I've developed, again, I hope I'm not repeating myself on this one as well. I have a 3 effect feature. It's random laser firing. And what it does is when you arm the photon torpedo, and I have a video on it, as you arm the photon torpedo, it goes through the photon torpedo effect, fires out the projectile, and then goes back into rest mode and turns off. And then the laser cannons fire a few bursts out, and then that's it. Then they just wait for the next command on a little tiny momentary switch. The engine feature itself is always on, so it has that red and yellow flicker or flutter all the time. So anyway, so that is the engine. And again, I'm not going to break these out of the bag because I'm delivering these back to Dream Studios. But this is all the electronics that I developed for it is right here in this bag. So this has the engine assembly and everything in there. So I'm actually gonna give these to them, so they when they do get to the build, they can actually have an easy install on the lighting. So, and again, I'll have kits available for those for the lighting systems. Here's some miscellaneous parts again. I could take a few of these out just really quickly. And again, I don't want to bore everybody to death. I'm trying just to show the bulk of the parts, just to give you an idea. again. And what's a neat little side note on this model, when I first ended up getting this model, I noticed in the files that it came with a scaled George and Gracie humpback whales. And so I made a little video about those, and you actually can purchase those separately if you like from Dream Studios. He actually now has them available as two little mini versions of George and Gracie, which is really cool. That's like a really nice little added bonus to the overall model. So anyway, this is the basic layout of the model and kind of an idea of where the parts are and what it is. And again, I wish I could break down every single piece, but again, there's so many parts to it. And then again, I also wanted to talk to you really quickly about this before I switch and finish off this video. But here's all the, these are all the vents that are on the top. And again, they come in stacks of parts like this. These ones are numbered in direction, so they fit only one way and one way only, and they all mesh together. This is probably one of the harder pieces of the model to assemble overall. When I first saw these and I saw the stack, I'm like, okay, this is going to be a little tricky, just because they're individual vents for each one. So when you go to lay them out, you know, they have to be laid out properly. So this will be probably one of the harder ends of the build. But, you know, overall, that's not too bad. You know, I mean, and that just comes with the territory. Again, they only sit in there a certain way. They are left and right, you know, directional. So you got to get them right. But again, you print a whole bunch of these, and there's a whole series of these ones in the model. So anyway, so I think I can wrap the video up on that. And here, let me bounce back and let me end the video. And again, I hope this has been enough to show you guys kind of some of the parts of this beautiful large scale Klingon bird of prey model. I mean, if you're looking for a large scale version, this is probably the one to pick up. Again, you can scale it up larger, or you could scale it down smaller. But again, I think it's right in that right category as far as the default scale. So anyway, so let me end this video, and I'll meet you on another view. Okay, guys, so that is the Klingon bird of prey, and I think that explains the model pretty well. Again, I'll have more details, and again, I'll have a redirection for you guys to go back to Dream Studios to see the full extent of this model. And again, that is where you can order the 3D model files for this kit. And again, just to kind of again, I always love this. I'm glad he gave me this part, because again, this just goes to show you, if you really want to go big, you can go big. So he made it. You know, the proof's in the pudding. Here it is. This is the model. So anyway, if you haven't subscribed to our video channel, please do so at this time. And again, we really appreciate your support, and we love bringing this content to you. So keep watching. Give us a thumbs up. Again, subscribe. And again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.